everybody doing? Let's go. Every single Monday, I try my best to jump on with many notaries from around this country for absolutely free to help them build a notary loan signing agent business. Oh, what up, Jay? How
Hi.
are you?
Good. How are
Good,
you?
good. I'm here to have a conversation. Tell everybody where you're from.
I'm from Fredericksburg, Virginia.
Oh, we got VA, Pennsylvania, Indiana. We're all over the East Coast, Midwest. All right.
Yeah.
So talk to me. Where are you at your business?
Okay, so I have been loving having real estate agents in my closings because I get to witness me doing a smooth closing.
Yes.
Okay, so I've been, I've been talking to them about having a preferred notary. And so two questions. One is following up with them because it's kind of awkward because they have a title client that I got through a signing service that I can't, mess with. So,
Well, let me stop you there. Let me stop you there. Okay, real quick. Couple coaching moments. You can mess with the title. So let me show you how to do it. Okay.
okay.
So if you do a title signing at a closing at a title company and you got it through a signing service, and you go back and you're like, oh my gosh, thank you for signing. I'd love to work with you again. Can you just ask the signing service to mark me preferred?
Okay.
Does that make sense? So you should definitely try to get business through that realm, if that makes sense. So I think a lot of students get a little bit too much like, I'm not supposed to talk to the title company. No, you just shouldn't try to take the client from the title company, but you can 100%, I'd love to work with you again. Just ask the signing service to call me on any of your closings.
Okay.
Did that make sense?
Yes.
Okay. So let me ask you a question holistically. Okay. So I'm going to teach you how to follow up with the realtor. So if you're the realtor,
Uh-huh.
okay, let's just say you're the realtor.
Uh-huh.
Let's do a different analogy. Someone just painted your house. Okay.
Okay.
Would you be mad if the painter called you up on Tuesday and said, hey, Jess, just wanted to make sure that I didn't miss any corners on the house?
No.
What would you actually think about the painter at that point?
I would appreciate that.
And would you maybe want to work with the painter again?
For sure.
Because why?
Because they care.
That's my point. So you can do that with the realtor. Like, hey, it's been a couple days. I just want to make sure I didn't miss anything because I want to make sure that the funding isn't delayed to anything that I did. Like, that's just an authentic, I want to make sure that my service was great, right?
Yes.
So my point is that's how you follow up. You follow up by authentically following up. Like, just like, hey, I'm just making sure that there was nothing missed by me because if there was, I want to run out and get it fixed. The answer is going to be no, right? So you're like, oh, there's not. That's weird. That's the type of service that I provide. So you're almost getting them to also say how great you are without you saying how great you are. Does that ninja move make sense? So
That,
was there any errors? Oh, there wasn't any errors. Crazy. I would love the opportunity to work with any of you on any future deals. Does that make sense? So you're almost making them compliment you, and then you're letting them know that you're available for any other opportunities.
and then just leave it in their hands
No,
to call.
gosh, no. And so then you should have some automated email. If you're not using the marketing software by LSS, I would probably look into that. But I would have some automated email that reminds them that you're ready for business, right? Then what I would do if I were you is I would check in a week. You know what I mean? Like, hey, Jessica, just want to see if you have anything I can do to help. Remember, you're a loan signing system student, right? Okay,
Yes.
good. So I was going to say, go back into the course and rewatch the real estate marketing section. But let me give you a little summarization of it. Because here's what the follow-up should sound like in a week. Okay. Remember, we're in the business of helping another local community member, which is realtor. So maybe in a week the follow-up is like, hey, this is Jessica again. I'm just following up to see if there's anything that I can help your business with. Are you having an open house? I'd love to hand out flyers for you. Do you have a listing that I can post on social media to maybe give another one of your listings some visibility? So maybe the follow-up isn't about you getting more business. Maybe the follow-up, which is the loan signing system way, is how to create a relationship. So if your email wasn't about a signing, but your follow-up email was like, hey, is there anything I can do to help an open house? Anything that in nature, let me know. I mean, this is what I like to do with my local realtors. I try to build a relationship based on win-win. Like, just be authentic about that. And then be like, you know what, Jessica, no. Or you can be even more stockier, is find the realtor, see if they have any listings, see if they have an open house, go to the open house and see yourself again. Like, oh, I was in the area. Anything I can do to help this open house today? So my coaching is, Jay, if I can just get you to think authentically how to serve, then the follow-ups become easy. The reason the follow-ups get a little nervous is because we're like, how do I convince them to use me? But that shouldn't be the follow-up. The follow-up should be, how can I serve them? Does that make sense? So it's like, hey, Jessica, I did your closing a couple of weeks ago. I'm just circling back and seeing if I can bring any value to your business. Hey, do you have an open house this weekend that I can help you organize? I can pass out flyers. I can hand out balloons. I don't know, like, what are the litany of things you can help a realtor do? And here's the truth. The answer is probably going to be no, but your touch point is all that you wanted.
Okay.
And then you do that in 2 weeks later, or maybe in 2 weeks, you find out the open house that they're actually throwing and you walk back in. Does that make sense? And so I think the coaching is for you and everybody watching is, if we can get out of the mindset of how do I get their next signing, but into the mindset of how I can bring them value, the signing comes second.
Okay. Well, I do have this one specific situation that happened. So I had a closing on Thursday, and the realtor was saying that he's got these deals going on that are, have been hectic or, a problem. And he was saying, I hope I can find a notary who will go like 2 hours away from me. It's 2+ hours, right? So I followed up with him the next day and was like, hey, Josh, I could do that for you.
Yeah.
I would love to help you out with that. And so then he was like, okay, it's probably going to be Friday. And then, so he texted me yesterday and said, actually, it's probably going to be Monday afternoon or the evening. And so I talked to him today, and he was saying, man, we're just waiting around for the lender
Docs.
and the title.
Yeah.
And then I said, well, do you, who is the title company? I'm just curious. Do they need my credentials or what? And he said, well, I gave them your name and number, so hopefully they will just call you and set it up with you. So I
Okay.
haven't heard anything.
So what should the next move be? It's a great coaching moment. So you know that he has a title company. What should the next moment be?
I'm just like waiting.
No. I'm trying to coach you. Girl, I'm going to teach you to fish, not give you a fish. Okay. So you have it. I'm going to walk around the putt with you. Okay. You have a client who who's already given your name and number to somebody.
Yeah.
What do we think the next step should be with the person who has your name and number?
Well, I need to get their contact info so I can follow up with them.
There you go. And what kind of follow-up are we talking about?
Okay, just call them up and say, hey,
No. What kind of, what are we thinking?
Oh, what are you saying, in
There we
person?
go.
Okay.
Okay, let me end with this, okay? This is what I teach you guys to do. The realtor is not the goal.
Right.
What's the goal? What's the goal?
Title
Okay.
company.
What do you have a hand-failed lead to?
The
And
title company.
you want to call them?
Well, they're far away.
How far is far?
Well, I mean, yeah, I think they might be in Richmond, which is like an hour south of me. Okay, so go there.
Are we in the business building mode right now? Because here's the truth is, that is just a rep for things that happen closer to your area,
Okay.
right? And by the way, if I can really be honest with you, is I would prefer all of you students to take all your reps outside of your main area. So let's just say you are terrible here.
Yeah.
Well, no love lost because they weren't 10 minutes from your house. Does that make sense? So you should be like, oh my gosh, I'm going to do it. I would get together a little goodie bag and be like, I want to put a face to the name. You can be like, so I'm excited. Is there any credentials? By the way, if you have any signings in my town, use me. I'll drop off docs. Don't use the signings. Like, this is a dream. Like, you've done everything I dream of a student. Now you just got to put it into a bow. So you should drive down there with a little goodie bag. As I know that John gave my phone number, I felt like you might need a face to the name. By the way, if you have any closings an hour outside of town, I'm actually an hour away, so you don't need to hire a signing service. Like, just call me directly. I'll drive docs back to you, so there's no FedEx label needed.
Perfect. Okay.
Does
Awesome.
that make sense?
Yes.
So remember, I'm going to end with this. Hope everyone's listening. The realtor is not the goal. John's not your goal. The referral to the title company is the goal, because now it's not a cold walk-in. I am the notary that John recommended.
Yeah.
Total different conversation. Like, hi, you don't know me, but I want to try to market my business. Does that make sense? So you've done this to the loan signing system textbook. Now it's time just to put a bow on it. Does that make sense?
Except if it was the same title company that the closing where I met him. What if it's the same?
Well, that's a good question. If it's the exact, this is a great question. If it's, remember, the signing services client is the escrow or specific escrow or title officer. So if it's not the specific title or escrow officer, then nothing to worry about. Does that make sense? So if it's the main, if it's the exact same title or escrow officer, I would still get a practice rep in.
Okay.
Does that make sense? Like, I would still get a rep in. Like, right now when you're in the scaling mode, it's like getting your pitches down and getting your nerves out of the way. You know what I'm saying? Because as they start coming closer, you want to be a little bit more seasoned in your approach. So when you meet a realtor that's in your own hometown, now it's a easier conversation to have because you've done it already. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm slipped through the cracks, I feel like, and I don't
And
want
then
to do
by
that anymore.
the way, I'm going to end with this. Do you think your guy John works with multiple title companies? What do you think off the top of your head?
I'm sure he does.
Okay.
Yes.
Who else do you think he can refer you to?
Oh, his other.
And have you asked for that yet?
No.
See the coaching?
Yeah.
Like, we got to stop seeing leads as linear. There's a spider web to all of it. You've done the hard part, which is creating the relationship with the realtor. Now it's your job, which you've done, been of value to him. And so now he's going to exchange the value by, like, oh, I'll give you an email out to Sarah, Julie, whoever. And now it's no longer a cold introduction. Oh my gosh, so excited to meet you. I'm Jessica. I'm going to come by tomorrow to say hi. And then you go from an email, a referral, into an in-person.
Yeah. So warm leads sounds nice. I've been doing cold.
It's the hardest thing to do in the business. That's why I teach you guys to use realtors.
Yeah.
Realtors are the key to warm leads. And by the way, this is how I built my business. I built it through realtors to give me warm leads. And then I walk in, and now the conversation is completely different. There's a little bit of credibility that John's creating for you as the referral source. Like, there's no way John would be referring you if John didn't somehow give you that credibility. So now you're not a random notary who has no third-party credibility. That's why realtors are the gold mine. Does that make sense? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, come back, DM me, let me know how this goes, but hopefully you got some value out of today's coaching.
Thank you so much.
All right, let's go. Oh my God, I love it when the community, like, everything starts working. You know what I mean? Like, the realtor gives you the referral, but now it's time to capitalize.
Hello.
Hello.
So I just want to give a little background since the last time we chatted.
Okay.
I was nervous to go to an open house, but I went to an open house, talked to the realtor. The realtor is a loan officer himself. So that was a networking thing that I didn't even see coming. And so that sparked so much. Got back on
Don't stop
Snapchat,
there.
kind of
What did
got
it
everything
spark? What did
certified.
it
Good.
spark? Hold on.
It's
Let everybody else know
spark
what it
the
sparked.
nerves like you were talking about. I was still kind of like nervous going in, but I said, you know what, let me get one under my belt. And I said, oh, I did it. Okay, I did it. I could do a little bit more. I'm on the tightrope, but I'm keep going. I'm gonna keep going.
But I want to unpack that real quick. Like, what you learned is momentum creates momentum. And that's what a lot of people don't get. It's that one small thing of, like, I'm doing it nervous, will all of a sudden, like, unleash the growth. And that's what I want to commend you on, because it's so hard to make that first step. But once you do, dude, it's all of a sudden like, well, that wasn't that bad. I could do this again. So I just want to say I'm so proud of you. Thank you for letting everybody know. Let me give you a little bit of coaching, okay? So remember this, okay?
Right.
I want everybody to hear this. The realtor and the loan officer isn't our end goal. Our end goal is their connections to title. So sometimes that's lost when we've got marketing. It's like, because remember, the best realtor in town maybe make 10 closes a year, but a good notary, I mean, a good escrow officer will do that in a day. Does that make sense, everybody? So don't forget that our goal is to utilize their contacts to get where we want to go. Okay. So my
Okay.
question to you is, how did you leverage that meeting into possible email connections with their title companies? Talk to me.
So he did give me his information and another officer that he had connect. So now every Monday I'm following up doing emails and just seeing how they're doing for their weekend and just letting them know I'm available. Hey, I need you. You may not need me, but I'm here.
Okay. So what I'm going to say is this. So I love that you're following up via email. Remember, this is a face-to-face
Okay.
business. How many times, or is it a plan to go in and do it in person?
Yes, that's the next step.
That's my girl. That's my girl. Because remember, let me give you some coaching. So your job, especially with the referrals, is remember the realtor, the lender, or even the escrow officer. This is what they're processing. Okay. They're literally thinking to themselves, can this person represent me at the closing table? Because you're an extension of them. You already know that, right? So, but the question is, you have to make them be like, yes, you see me as the person at the table for you. And if there's no face to face, you have a beautiful smile, your energy is amazing, but that's not easy to portray via email. But you're trying to portray that, right? And they go, oh my gosh, she is very professional. She looks professional. She has a beautiful smile. Her energy is great. Now you're reinforcing that I can be the person you want me to be to represent you at the closing table. So that's why in-person meetups, I mean, follow-ups in our industry are so important
Okay.
because they're really making this bridge. Can I see Mark can I see Mark representing me at the closing table? That's what all they're thinking in their mind. Does that make sense? Now, let me be very honest with you, okay? Not everybody could see me as their notary at the closing table. They're like, Mark, you're coming in way too hot every time, dog. You always clapping. And so, but then there's some people are like, you're the energy I want to see at the closing table. So my point is this, just stay you. You don't need to be all things to all people. A lot of times people go, well, Mark, what do you say in the follow-up? I'm saying, really nothing. You just got to let them size you up. Does that make sense? And the truth in my business is because I am so energetic, I'm not everybody's cup of tea. And so therefore they're like, you know what? You're not actually the kind of person I want to sit in front of my clients, which is fine. I understand that. I understand that I can't be all things to all people. So my coaching to you is sometimes we get nervous to follow up because we feel like, oh, am I who they want me to be? You just got to be you and figure out who you match with. That coaching makes sense. And
Yes.
then look, I'm not everyone's. There's people on here right now who are like, there's no way this Mark dude's gonna be my coach. Cool. I'm not trying to make everyone love me. I'm just gonna try to be me and hope that I resonate with the other person. So a lot of times we get a little nervous on following up because we really feel like, oh, I got to be someone that I'm not. No, just be you. Okay. But you got to give them the opportunity to kind of size you up. What I mean by that is your energy, your professionalism, your smile. Like, oh, I forgot how energetic she was, or how much energy she gave, or how calm her demeanor was. This really does match with who I am and who I want to put in front of my clients. And that's why in-face follow-ups are so important because the email doesn't say that. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
They can't see your smile over email. They can't see your energy, right? And so remember, the emails are great, but don't forget the in-person.
Okay.
Mark, what do I say? The same thing you said the first time, man. If your notary gets sick, you need some backup. I'd love to represent you. If you need me to travel in 60 minutes, you're just reinforcing everything you said the first time. So you don't need a new pitch. Okay. You just need to reinforce because sometimes they forgot what value add that you bring. So you just reinforce all that. Does that make sense? Cool. So I love the follow up, and now it's time for an in person follow up.
Got
Does
it.
that make
Coming
sense?
next. Yes.
All right. Hey, keep implementing, keep doing it, ride the momentum.
Okay.
And remember, in any face-to-face business, doesn't matter if ours or a car salesman, our job is to let as many people know we're open for business and see whose energy we match up with. That's all sales is. Sales is a transfer of energy. Does that make sense? It's all sales is. And so my energy doesn't transfer to everybody. Cool. Right? And if you tend to be calmer and more cool and collect, you'll find people like that. All sales is a transfer of energy. Like, are we vibing? It's no different, right? I don't know if you're single or not, but dating's the same way. Like when you're dating someone, all it is exchange of energy. You know, like there are some girls like, you are way too much, Mark. Okay, cool. And then I met my wife and she's like, you're not enough. And I'm like, I freaking love you. And so it's just a matching of energies. That's all sales is. Does that make sense? So
Yeah.
keep matching energies, keep putting your energy out there and build this to the freaking moon.
All right. I'm coming for that 10K. So, yes.
Let's go. I'll see you next time, girl.
I'll see you.
Bye.
Thank you.
Okay, so I hope everyone got some value out of there. Let me say again what I just coached her. Is sales is a transfer of energy. That's it. Think about it like this. You go to a car lot. Some guy comes up to you. Oh my God, what car are you looking at today? You're like, oh, good, I'm good. But there's another car salesman who goes, hey, how's your day today? You doing good? It's just a transfer of energy. And so my point is your job is to go out and try to transfer energy to as many people as you can and figure out who's accepting it. And when I told the earlier student on here is all sales is in this industry is telling as many people as you can that you're open for business. So what do I mean by that? I mean, it's a transfer of energy. Look, the loan signing system has scripts to prove that you're an educated signing agent and you can execute the signing. That's the purpose of the scripts. No matter how good your energy exchange is, if you can't convince them that you know what you're doing, then they're not going to hire you. So all the scripts do is proves to somebody you actually know what you're doing, that you can sit down at the closing and do it error-free. Scripts. But the scripts isn't what gets you business. What gets you business is the exchange of energy. Tell me that landed. Everybody in the comments, put the word landed, because I think this is the most important thing that I can teach you today. Is sales is just an exchange of energy. That is it. Can I see you matching with me, and the more people you tell, the more you're going to find people who are your speed. And not everyone's going to be your speed, and that's okay. Does that make sense? All sales is an exchange of energy. That's it. Once you can prove to them you know what you're doing, the next thing they're sizing up is, do we vibe? Does our energy match? And so that's why you always hear the classic adage, sales is a numbers game. It's only a numbers game because you're trying to figure out how many people can I find that matches my energy. That's it. So if you meet 10 realtors, lenders, and escrow officers, the odds are 3 or 4 of them will match your energy. Not all 10, but 3 or 4. So if you meet 20 people, you have 8 potential clients. You talk to 30 people, you have 12 potential clients. So I'm glad that landed. All we got to figure out is how to exchange the energy in a conversation. And it's simple in our business. Go to open house, say what's up. That is it. You don't need to be somebody you're not. Let me say that one more time. You don't need to be somebody you are not. Because whoever you are pretending to be or whoever you are, not everyone's going to match that person anyway. So, Crystal.
Hey, Mark.
How are you?
It's good to see you always.
Thank you. Thank you.
I love seeing that face.
I appreciate you, girl. Okay, tell everybody where you're from so we have a conversation.
Okay, I'm from Philly.
Let's go.
Pennsylvania.
All right, talk to me.
Okay, Mark. Okay. The last time we spoke,
Yep.
I didn't have anything.
Yep.
I'm now fully commissioned. I completed my NNA. Done
Love
with that.
it.
I'm going through my my loan signing agent. I'm going through the process. I'm
Yeah,
going through.
love it.
So, cause I told you before, cause you like humbled me because
I just gave you coaching. That's all, girl.
you humbled me. Okay.
Yeah, go.
So because I work for a lender, I've been on the lender side for over 20
Okay.
years, right? So you already explained to me that, you know, the lender, the people on the lender side, we come over, we're like, I already know this, right?
Yes.
So I'm going through it like I
Love
never
it.
seen it, like I never. So I'm taking
Good.
this whole process.
Good.
But my question to you is, I'm at the point now I don't know what to do next.
Okay, so where are we exactly? Tell me where you are exactly, and I'll tell you what to do
Okay,
next. So you're in the you
fully
got the
commissioned.
you got your notary commission check, NNA certification check. How far are you through the loan signing system course?
I'm like halfway through.
Okay, have we taken the certification yet?
Not yet.
Okay, cool. So I just think that's your next step. I mean, remember, you got to walk, you got to crawl before you can walk, walk before you can run. I love that you took the last coaching as something to be impactful and not me talking down, but talking you up. And what I would just say, the next step is your certification. The next step is marketing, right? Remember, what I want to say is to continue on this journey that business is 90% about mindset, 10% about X's and O's. And so I love that you dropped into that place of, look, I'm on a learning journey right now. The next part of your journey is really going to be more of a patience journey. And then the third part of your journey is going to be scaling your business. So learning patience, because the marketing, a lot of times people want to hit the ground running. You know, we had a student in the loan signing system group yesterday or 2 days ago, maybe be like, it took me 6 months to get the business off the ground. And I'm like, there's very few businesses in America you can get off the ground in 6 months. And so it's really reframing kind of the next steps. The next steps are, if I can just get you to do the work, I promise you in the next 6 months, you're going to have something. It's not going to be the next 30 days. It's not going to be the next 60 days. But if you stay the course, girl, I promise you in 6 months, you're going to have your head up like, dude, this is legitimate. So it's just really kind of helping you continue to get in the right frame of mind. I
Okay.
think that's really kind of the next step. And remember, you're about to finish your learning journey. Once you're done with your learning journey, it's like, okay, now I got to go apply what Mark tells me. We had somebody else yesterday to this morning in the six-figure group was like, yo, I went to an open house and I got a new lead. And then I said, I gave her congratulations. And she was like, Mark, I watched the chapter on open houses on Friday. I went out on Sunday. My point is this. All at that point is just implementation. That's all it is.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So it's just learn, implement. All successful people are just implementers. You don't need to reinvent the wheel. So what I love is you're going to take your experience from lenders. And by the way, part of your pitch versus other students who don't have that lending experience is, I've been in the industry for 20 years. So like, I am super excited for you. I love how the reframe in our conversation a few weeks ago is still in
Yeah.
place. And the reframe from here on out is just patience and implementation. That's it, man.
Patience and implementation. Okay. I'm taking notes. I'm a student.
I love it. I love it. You know, look, and I'll end with this, okay? The biggest thing we have to give ourselves is grace on this next part of our journey.
Okay.
There's an expectation that we're going to be good at something we've never done. Those expectations is what unsuccessful people expect. Successful people expect a learning curve. They expect to trip, and that they expect to get back up. So on this part of the journey, it's just getting the right frame of mind, because that's all business is. Business is all mindset. It's really the truth. You know what I mean? So if I can just get you to continue to kind of reframe, and, you know, like I say in the course, and I'll say it again, the hardest thing for me to teach you to be successful is to stop thinking like an employee.
Gotcha.
An entrepreneur mindset is different. An employee mindset is expectations, expectations. And an entrepreneur mindset is learn, 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 right? Failure isn't the opposite of success. It's part of success.
Mm-hmm.
An employee mindset is failure is the opposite of success. No, failure is learning what not to do the next time.
Gotcha.
You know what I mean? So just keep dropping in on the mindset, and let's take this to the moon. And by the way, I just posted an on the road yesterday or on Friday with a student in Pennsylvania, Northeast Pennsylvania, by the way. And she told me apparently it's like -5 during the winters, and baby girl's making 10 grand a month.
Oh,
So
you better go. Let's go. I'm on
Yes,
mark
and she
for
goes,
it.
she was literally like, I'm not in Philly, I'm in Northeast Pennsylvania. I'm like, I don't know what that means. She's like, well, that just means I'm rural.
Yes,
And I'm like,
she
thank you
is.
for letting people know that you can make money. So you're in a big city, like, let's go, big city, big dreams. Let's go.
Let's go. Thank you for everything. Thank you so much.
All right, I'm here for you anytime. I'll see you next week then. How about
See,
that?
I
Deuces.
see you next week.
I love it. So, I mean, my biggest takeaway from the conversation, I want everyone to take away from it, is business is 90% mindset. 90%. If I can get you to drop into being an entrepreneur and not being an employee expects immediate results. An entrepreneur understands I'm embracing the process. So let me say that one more time. When you can learn to embrace the process is when you make real strides in this business or any business.
Hi,
How are
I'm
you?
Mark.
Okay, so Carla, I know your name, but tell everybody where you're from.
Fort Wayne, Indiana.
Fort Wayne, Indiana. Let's go Fever. Okay? I'm a big Fever
Yes.
fan. Caitlin Clark is my girl.
I'm more into NFL, but I like
Okay, okay,
Caitlin. I like,
okay.
yeah.
I have become a WNBA fan because I'm a big hoops fan, and Caitlin Clark can straight out ball, so I
She
am a
can.
fan. So, anyways, talk to me where are we at in our business.
Okay, so I got commissioned. Um, I'm actually getting ready in about 15 minutes to take my loan signing exam.
Love it.
So after I'm done with that, I'm definitely ready to start to take the NNA test. I'm just
Okay.
nervous. I'm
Let me stop.
wonderful
Let me
and
stop you real quick.
okay.
I saw a coaching moment, girl.
Okay.
Okay, so here's one of the biggest things I love about the conversations for today are all about mindset because really business is all about mindset. So you said the word nervous. Okay,
Yes.
here's the reframe I need you to do. Okay, we feel nervous. We associate that as bad. Nervous
Mm,
is bad. The reframe needs to be nerves is good, and here's why. If you
okay.
weren't nervous, you're not growing. So whenever I
Right.
get nervous, I'm like, I'm getting out of my comfort zone. And to me, I reframe that as a good thing. Because if you're not nervous, you're literally comfortable. And if you're comfortable, you're not growing. And if you're not growing, you're dying. Period. So my
Good.
point is, nerves to me, I get nervous. I'm not any different than anybody else, but I reframe that moment. Does that make sense? Instead
Yes.
of like it's bad, I'm like, oh, that's a good thing. It's doing something out of my comfort zone. It's pushing myself to grow. It's pushing myself to evolve. So the coaching I wanted to interrupt with is like, cool, you're nervous. That's awesome. Because everyone who's not nervous is not doing anything special. Does that make sense?
Yes.
They're doing the same thing day in and day out. And I'm sorry, it's no way I want to live. And
Right.
so when I get nervous, I reframe. That's my coaching. It's like, cool, you're nervous. Great. Because that means you're actually doing something. Let me wrap up this point with this, okay?
Okay.
Tell every new student of mine, all of your habits that you currently have got you to this point. So if you're not happy with the point where you're at, then you need to create new habits.
New
And
habits.
the new habit forming is going to be nerve wracking. The new habit forming is going to make you uncomfortable. But you can't expect to make more money and stay the same person. Did that land?
That's good.
Did
Yeah.
that land? And so, again, I'm trying to help you reframe the nerves. All the nerves means is you're becoming a new person. That's all it means. And that's the reframe. And I think that's a beautiful thing. So when I get nervous, and I do, I'm
Mm-hmm.
like, yo, Mark, I'm growing. This is what I'm supposed to be doing. Most people run away from the nerves. I run to them.
Mm,
I know that's where growth is. I know that's where change is. Because a lot of too many times I get new students who want more money, but they won't want to be a new person. And I'm like, the person you are equals the money you're at. So if you're trying to get here, then you need to grow to that point. And that's all you're doing right now is my coaching. And so I love that you're nervous because, yes, you might not pass the test, but you're going to learn something.
that,
And then as you're learning, you're growing. And as you're growing, more income comes. So just stay the course, reframe nerves because you know it's going to be nervous next time you're about to go into an open house. You're going to be like, oh my God, I'm
mm-hmm.
nervous. And again, I want you to reframe that moment. A lot of people will walk away from the nerves, the moment I'm nervous, I walk to them because I've reframed nerves. It sucks. Nerves sucks. I get it. But the reframe is only reason I'm nervous is because I'm growing. And that is what I try to strive for every single day. Because if I'm not growing, I'm literally dying.
Mm-hmm. Get
So
that.
I love that you're nervous, girls. Just do a reframe because this entire process is going to challenge you on what I just coached you on. The entire process, whether it's going to a networking event, going to an open house, calling a signing service. So you're going to have nerves hit you a few times on the way to this new version of you. And you just
Yes.
got to be excited for it and embrace it. Did that coaching land?
Yes. Thank you very much. That helped a lot.
Good. Okay, so the next step is NA certification. Hopefully, loan signing system certifications on there. Once you know the loan signing system, then it's all marketing, and all marketing is a you versus you battle. That's
Okay.
all
All
marketing.
right.
People go, Mark, what's the secret of marketing? And they say you beating the old you, because
Mm-hmm.
I will tell you what to say at an open house. That's the easy part. It's getting you to get past your nerves to say it that is the hard part. And so it's a
Mm-hmm.
constant battle of you just reframing what nerves means. We associate nerves as negative.
Mm-hmm.
That's what unsuccessful people do. Let me say that one more time. Unsuccessful people associate nerves as a bad thing. And so therefore they run away from it.
Okay.
A successful person sees nerves as a good thing because that means they're growing and they run towards it. And so
Okay.
what I'm going to end with this. Everybody always says, "Oh, Mark, what's it like making $10,000 a month?" And I said, it's not about the money. It's about who you become
Mm-hmm.
on the way to making money. That's the beautiful part.
I
Because
like
all
that. That sounds
business
great.
is, right? All business
Mm-hmm.
is a personal growth journey. That's all it is. If you can grow as a person, you'll make more money. Most people aren't up for the personal growth. They're not up to work through the nerves. They're not up for this evolution of them. Because I actually think business is easy. I mean, the people who are willing to grow make the most of it. I'm going to end with this. You ready? And I want everyone to hear me listening right now. Okay.
Okay.
The signing agent who makes the most money just tells the most people they're a signing agent. Like, can
Mm-hmm.
we stop overthinking it? Right?
Yes.
The hard part is telling 25 people you're a signing agent, but at the crux of it is that whoever tells the most people makes the most money. And all that is a personal growth journey. It's a self-belief journey. You deserve more. I'm worthy of more. And no one can hire me if they actually don't know that I'm a notary. So reframe those nerves. You are
Okay.
worthy. You are deserving. And let's do a little let's go.
Yes. 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 Now. Thank you so much. That helps so much.
You're so welcome. We'll see you the next time. Bye. Look, I
Bye.
hope everyone got some value out of the conversation with Carla. Because look, at the end of the day, I want you to hear me clearly. How are these signing agents making $100,000 a year? Well, they are just simply telling the most people that they're a signing agent. Does that make sense, everybody? Like, that's it. And so, look, I don't want to oversimplify how to make money in this business because I understand how hard it is to get through the nerves. I understand how hard it is to tell somebody you've never met that you're the best option for their notarial needs. I get it. It's hard, but it's going to be worth it. Let me say it one more time. It's hard, but it will be worth it. You have to continuously tell yourself this every single time. It is hard, but it's going to be worth it. In order to get where you want to go, you got to evolve as a new. What up? Just be you. What up, girl? How
Hi,
are
guys.
you?
How you doing?
I'm good. Thank you for. It's Monday. I'm ready to get back to work and help the notary community. Woo-hoo, let's go. All right.
So
So
I only have one
go.
question. I've been a signing agent for almost a year now. I now have a office.
Yes.
I do virtual mailboxes, so I need to be in the office majority of the time. I
Okay.
was wondering how could I market my business to have clients come here instead of being mobile?
Okay. So there are two different answers to that. Okay. On a loan signing side, it's actually pretty difficult. The reason we exist is to be at the convenience of the borrower. That's literally why mobile signing agents are around. It's like, look, the borrower can only sign between 5 and 6 because they got to go to a baseball practice for their daughter or son, and they got to find someone to slam in that point, right? So it's very difficult. But on GNW, you can actually write discounted rates if you come to my office. So you can entice them in with like a discount, right? And so I would just say in office availability, discounted rates if you come to me, right? Why would you pay the mobile fee to another notary who's going to charge you a $50 travel fee? You can market against the mobile general notary work notaries by saying discount opportunities here. You know, so I would just advertise that there's a discounted rate to come, which there should be because you're not traveling, obviously, right? So I would, on my Google business profile, on your website, I would say, you know, brick and mortar location, discounts, heavily discounted pricing if you come to the office. Remember, you want to use keywords, heavy, discount, to entice the consumer. And by the way, heavy and discounts all relative. What a discount to you is may not be a discount to me. So my point is, don't be afraid to use that terminology
Yes.
because it's all relative. So just kind of use very classic marketing terms, heavy discount, you know, take off travel costs. Let them know if you're searching on the internet that I'm not going to charge you fees. You know, centrally located, use some of those words, you know what I mean? You know, right off the I-5, let them know how easy it is to get there. But on a loan signing side, it really isn't very,
So I would
you're
have
not
to
going to get
put
much.
after hours for loan signing.
Yeah, but even after hours, you still want to make sure you can go to them. Now,
Yes,
what you
yes.
could do in your coffee and or conversation is, you know, I'm more than happy to travel to a location, but I also have a brick and mortar if that makes your buyers feel more comfortable. Like it could be like a value add, but I wouldn't lead with it because that sounds a little uneducated, right? They'd be like, well, you're called mobile for a reason. So, but offering it as more of a neutral location does appease some people who don't want a stranger coming in their house, right? So just be like, you know, as an option, you know, I do have a brick and mortar location. And so I would use it more of a value add than really leaning into it heavy. Does that make
Perfect.
sense? Okay. Well,
Thank you so much.
what the hell? Keep building, girl. Let's go. Hello, oh my gosh, what I just love talking to the community like all day, every day. Like, let's go. What up, girl?
So I didn't pass the test again.
Hey, that's okay.
I
That's
just don't get. I feel like I know everything.
okay.
I
Let
don't
me
understand.
okay. Give me a question and let's talk through it. What question of difficulty right now?
I guess the questions maybe that I'm having a problem with are when the who, like, I know that it's Jane Doe is the trustee and you put trustee after the name, right? If it's them, you don't.
Okay. So let me give you a quick quiz. You ready?
Yes,
A borrower has a question about their interest rate. What do you do?
you just point to the part, to that paper
Okay.
where it shows it to them.
Yeah.
You don't tell them that.
Perfect.
You
Okay.
just point to
So
that.
you point to that and they're like, I don't like it. What do you do?
And then you have to call their loan agent, the loan
Perfect.
officer.
Perfect. How do
Okay.
you sign for a POA?
You sign your name and that you're the attorney in
Okay. Is that
fact.
the only way to sign for a POA?
Yes.
No. Oh, is there multiple ways you sign POA?
Okay. Yes, there
Okay.
is then.
So if you know there's multiple ways to sign for a POA,
Right.
why would you call the loan officer?
To make sure that's how they want it to be done.
Boom.
Okay.
So hold on. And so now let's go back to the first way. If you
Okay.
see a signing in a trust, what do you do?
You make,
Same answer.
yeah, you make sure how they want it to be signed. Okay, maybe those are the questions I'm getting
I
wrong.
got you, girls. Why you come on? Does that make sense?
Yes.
So remember, in this business, I hope everyone's listening. It's very important to get away from black and white. There is gray. Okay. And
Okay.
so my job to teach you in the course is where the gray is. So one of the gray is to make sure they tell you specifically how they want you to sign his POA, because there's multiple ways. And you don't want to kick back because you guessed, right?
Right.
So the conversation is like, hi, I know there's multiple ways to sign POA. That makes you sound what?
Intelligent.
That's right, educated signing agent.
Yes.
So you're like, I know that there's multiple ways. And they're like, well, thank you for calling. You're like, yeah, so just email me so I know exactly the way you want it done.
Okay.
Makes sense?
Yes.
Same thing with the trust. You're like, oh, I see it's in a trust. I know some banks like trustee behind the signature. I know some banks don't. So can you just communicate with me how you want that done?
Oh,
Okay.
so those two
Now,
questions I'm answering those wrong.
okay. Now I'm gonna get done with this. All right. So why? And I think a lot of new students, especially, feel like calling and asking for that makes them look dumb. And it's quite the opposite. You look so intelligent. That's why you're calling. The dumb ones, quote unquote, are the ones who think it's black and white. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay, cool. Second thing to that point is why would it be awesome to call the loan officer? Why would that be awesome?
Just so that you get everything right.
Okay.
Get exactly what they say they want.
Perfect. And then at the end of the signing, what should you do? Or what could you do? You have the loan officer's phone number.
Yes.
What could you do at the end of the signing?
Call them and tell them that you got everything and thank you very much.
And then the next line.
And then I'm scanning it to them.
The next line is, I would love to work with you again.
Okay.
But if you don't have the phone number, then can you make that phone call?
No.
No, it's my point. So whenever I was doing a closing and I had an excuse to talk to the LO, I saw it as a way to create a relationship.
Okay.
That didn't present itself at other times. Because sometimes it's weird calling an LO if there's nothing wrong, or if there's nothing you don't need clarified. So my point is, a lot of students go like, oh my God, I shouldn't call. I'm like, no, this is a perfect opportunity to create a reason to call the loan officer. See, does that make sense?
Yes.
A lot of notaries like, I don't want to call the loan. I'm like, well, why wouldn't you want to call the loan officer? Like,
yes.
You have direct access to someone who could give you business in the future. And not only are you going to call them, you're going to call them and look educated.
Yes.
And then you're going to call them to make sure that they did everything right. And they're going to tell you yes. And then you'll be like, sweet, let's work again together. And so it's really trying to look at a holistic view of the appointment. Authentically try to be the best signing agent as you can. Authentically try to follow up with them to make sure you did nothing wrong. And then end with the close of more business. See, a lot of students are like, well, Mark, I'm not busy. And I'm like, well, how many closings have you done? They're like 50. I'm like, well, do you have 50 relationships created with loan officers?
Right.
I'm like, that's my fault that you haven't created relationships with people who can give you business. Did that land?
Yeah.
So instead of being concerned about calling a loan officer and not getting anywhere, be like, no, this is my opportunity to make an appointment relationship, which hopefully equals future business.
Yes. Okay.
So remember, the signing is holistic. The unsuccessful signing agents do a closing, mail it off, talk to nobody.
Okay.
And then they wonder why they're not more busy. They're like, well, Mark, I've done 50 closings. No one's complained about me. I'm like, well, that's half the battle. Like, you're a business owner. Like, create a relationship. Be intentional. So
yes. Okay.
I can teach you to be intentional. That's when you blossom. Well, Mark, I've had 65 closings on SnapDocs, not one error. How come my phone's not ringing off the hook? And I'm like, because you're an employee. You're not a business owner. Does that make sense? So my point is, for you and everybody listening, don't feel afraid to call somebody. That's just your opportunity to show off how educated you are, and then your opportunity to create a relationship.
Okay.
Plan?
Yes.
All right. Come back next week. I know you're going to pass it. Let's go.
Thanks. Bye.
Talk to you soon. Bye. I hope
Okay.
everyone
Bye.
got that great conversation. Oh my gosh, what a great Monday. My name is Mark Wills. I teach notary loan signing agents how to make money. Come back every Monday for a live. I'm out. I love you. Bye.